Chinese AI company DeepSeek has just released their R1 model, which competes against OpenAI's O1 model. It has a chain of thought reasoning. The difference with DeepSeek is that they've open sourced all the code for their model, so we can download it and run it locally. To do this, I'm going to be using Ollama. So let's go ahead and download this first. It's available for Mac, Windows and Linux, and Ollama is a framework for running different large language models like Llama 3.3 and the latest DeepSeek R1. I'll be downloading and using the 32 billion parameter version. This is 20 gigabytes. There is a massive 404 gigabyte, 671 billion parameter version, but you can need kind of specialized hardware to run that effectively. I'm going to be doing this on a high-end gaming laptop. Once that's downloaded, we'll get a prompt to install it. Now that's installed, let's open up a prompt. And I'm going to select the version I want, which is this 32 billion parameter version, which is 20 gigabytes. I'm going to copy this code here. I'm going to paste that into the terminal. Okay, that's installed now. Let's test it. It could be criticized for overthinking the problem, but it does have the right answer. Let's ask it about something more nuanced. My first impression about this is that it's more personalized than ChatGPT. It's not providing generic answers. There's more kind of, I think this, I guess that, I wonder if this is happening. Like, it's more of a human-like response rather than something that's just acting as a calculator or a tool as such. One of my favorite uses for large language models is to brainstorm in different things. Let's see if we can come up with some brand names for this YouTube channel. With this query, it almost seems like it's going through the logic process a human would, kind of coming up with different ideas of how to create a brand name and then reiterating on previous responses. It almost feels like it's thinking on the fly, which is to do that chain of thought reasoning that O1 and this R1 model uses. The final thing I want to try is to get it to write some code. So this is only so useful from the command line. Obviously, if you wanted to do something programmatically and use this model within an application, we'd need to use some kind of agent. And to do that, we'd use something like Llama Index. So I'm going to ask it to create a AI agent using Llama Index to a kid's story on any given topic. Another nuance of this model is it seems to, in output, it seems to think out loud. It's kind of, these first few paragraphs, it's thinking about how it should do something rather than actually giving the final response. This is kind of a little bit more behind the scenes with ChatGPT's O1 model. On this device, which is a GeForce RTX 3080 Ti, you can see the 32 billion parameter model, the 20 gigabyte version, is running slowish, but it's usable. It's creating output just a little bit slower than you would naturally read it, I would say. But bear in mind that the outputs that I've seen so far from this are quite wordy. It's not kind of as concise as other models that I've used in the past. And it's completely failed there to actually give us any code, which is what I want. It's quite interesting, actually. If you take a look at this query, we've got think tags here, almost like HTML tags. And it's opening here and it's closing here. So all this text output here is just thinking through how to solve the problem. It might be that there's a option to remove that from the actual final output, or you could filter it if you're outputting this to a text file or some kind of directory, then you could take that out before you store the actual result. And finally, we get the output here, which gives some instructions for installing Llama Index and LangChain, and then it's actually written the code for us, which from first impressions looks pretty good. The beauty of this is that it's free to use. There's no cost involved, there's no subscription service required. You can simply download and run it on your local machine or on a server somewhere if you wanted to put it into a production environment. Also, using open source software is really important for the industry. It prevents a consolidation of power through a few closed source companies, which is something I've spoken about in previous videos. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to stay up to date with the latest emerging technology, then hit the like button to train the algorithm, subscribe for updates, and thank you for watching.